Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our first ever live Q. All right. So, what is the Q? What am I talking about when I talk about the Q, right? So, if you're a fan of our Trimmed and Stable podcast, which we're on our fifth season, what we used to do was we would always do an episode in the first of the month, which would be the Q. And what we called the Q is basically what we did the past month and what we were planning doing the upcoming month. So for this year, we decided, you know what? Let's kind of change it up just a little bit here and make it live. Why not make it live? Why not make it something that we do every month? I'm noticing people are enjoying the lives. We're getting some really good responses. So first of the month, we're always going to be doing a live here. So we're going to wait a little bit, get a couple people in here. But what we're going to talk about today is pretty much, we didn't do much in January, but we will go over a couple things in January. But what we're talking about is what our plans are for the YouTube channel, season passes, that kind of stuff there. I want to talk a little bit of news because I'm getting a little nervous about one of my favorite parks. And of course, you can write comments in here. I will answer every comment. Might even spin us off into a different direction. So that's always exciting. One thing you're going to notice that we always have a different shirt. Today, I am sporting probably one of the most underrated hypercoasters, one of the original hypercoasters, Nitro, over at Six Flags Great Adventure. We know Great Adventure's been getting beat up a lot because of Kingda Ka and because of Green Lantern, the parachutes. It looks like now they just put in some permits for the Sky Ride to go and a couple other things. So with that being said, figured give it a little bit of love here with Nitro. Also, I had a couple of people commenting. We can't really see the pictures in the background, so I'm kind of torn. Do you want to see the front or do you want more of the back? I kind of want to keep it here because I want to be kind of center framed. Which is something I'm excited, it adds more intimacy to it. So let us know in the comments if you want to go low or high with the camera. I can go either way, but that's where we're going to go here. All right, we got some people in here. So let's start this off here let's talk about the YouTube channel. So today is February 1st, of course, beginning of the month. And today we actually dropped our last full-length video that we had from 2024. So you might have noticed that I do what they call banking videos. So when I go to a park, I kind of knock out 10, 15, maybe 10 shorts, a couple full lengths. I go in there with the plan and we kind of utilize the plan. Oh, you got a comment already. Austin, good morning. Good. Go Eagles. Yep. More credits and more theme parks this year. Yep. Definitely go Birds. That's the other thing too. This weekend, no football. Don't really watch the Pro Bowl. I don't think many people do. So with that being said, gives me some time to work on some stuff, which we'll talk about today. But what I was saying is I usually bank a lot of things. Well, today was Let's Play at Sesame Place, Philadelphia. You got to say Philadelphia now because there's the one over in San Diego. And that was the last one we had banked for full-length videos. So what does that mean? That means for February, we got to get to some parks. But we also need to, we're going to be probably going to try to get 2 produced videos done a week. Now, I still have about 20 shorts that I can still fill in there. So tomorrow will be a short. Monday, we're going to drop Making the Grade at Six Flags America, and we're going to go that way there. So we're good with February, but we are going to start visiting parks. We're going to start filming more than we usually have. So with that being said, boom, 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 boom. What's going on with the YouTube channel? Like I said, we're going to aim for February at least, 2 full-length videos, and we're spread them out. And we're also going to be filling it up with shorts. As you might notice, I think we're at like 85, 86 or something with our count. We got to 102. So we're going to finish that up. But I do want to hear from you guys in the comment section, and we'll be doing some polls on it there. Actually, today, the poll on the YouTube channel is, what other videos would you like us to pursue? Should I get a GoPro unit and start doing POVs? Do I really need to do coasters? Maybe I'll do them for flat rides, or maybe do them for, I think log flumes would be fun with a POV. Should we do a new Explorer every year, or should we do what we've been doing, which is wait for a major change or every 3 years? Like last year, we had to upgrade Dorney Park and Six Flags America because they had the 2 new sections, Steel Yard and Steamtown. So because of that, we felt like we had to upgrade there. But parks like Morey's Piers and Knoebels, they don't change as much. So should we be adding things there, or should we not? Let us know in that poll and stuff like that. Also, shorts. Did you like that we were doing a short for every coaster we did? Should we, somebody actually suggested, okay, you have 388 coaster credits. Do a short for each one of those. So that would be like 388, but that would be like a minute long on each coaster. Let us know if that's something you guys think might be good. So with the YouTube channel, we got a lot of different aspects there. Actually, boom. There we go, YouTube. So the next thing I want to talk about is shorts. Like I said, should we continue doing as many shorts or should we cut them back? Right now, we use shorts kind of like fillers because we do like daily content. Should we cut back on the daily content? Should we just focus on full length? Another thing we got to decide, another thing we got to think about there. And last but not least, the podcast. So a lot of you guys don't realize that we started out mostly as a podcast. It was me and Janine. I think right after our Dollywood trip, our second or third year, we were like, let's do a podcast. So we started the Trimmed and Stippled podcast. And we did it pretty good. And then the YouTube channel came and it kind of took a back seat. It kind of didn't become a priority anymore. And because of that, season 3 and season 4 were kind of stagnant and stuff like that. Well, last year in October, I was like, you know what? I want to keep the podcast going. So with that being said, we kind of kicked it into higher gear. And recently we've been launching a lot of episodes and we've been seeing our numbers go up, I guess, because it was almost daily. So I guess as people got more and more familiar with the podcast, sometimes with Janine, sometimes solo, sometimes with guests, that we realized, okay, you know what? We kind of banked a few episodes. I'm actually planning on recording 3 of them this weekend. And we're going to try to do daily podcasts for February to see if the numbers go up or see what works best there. If you haven't followed us or anything like that, definitely you can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple Podcasts, go wherever you get your podcasts. It's 125 Roller Coaster, Trimmed and Stapled. Because those are 2 things that as a roller coaster enthusiast, you don't like to be stapled into your seat and you kind of hate the trim brakes. So with those 2 things, you figure Trimmed and Stapled was a cool name. But definitely check out the podcast. We alternate different things. The one thing you might notice with the podcast is we changed from, I think, Podbean to Buzzsprout, or we changed who our server was. And when we made that change, we realized that our top 40 episodes were not being carried over. And because of that, we're kind of putting them back in. So today we dropped, I think it was episode number 2 that we did, or number 3. And then tomorrow we're going to drop number 4. But then on Monday, we're dropping number 180. So if you want the more recent stuff, look for the triple digits. If you're looking for some of the classic, there'll be single there. So we're going to be mixing in season 1 with season 5 until we catch up to those 40. Just because we want to kind of have everything on one spot. It's funny, some of them, like Apple Podcasts, I think actually has them all still, but Spotify was missing the 40 and some of the other ones were missing the 40. So that's what we did there with the podcast. But this month, start today, every day we're going to have an episode of the podcast for you to enjoy. So, and we drop them in the morning. We usually drop them around 7, 8 a.m. so people can enjoy them on their drive time and stuff like that. Now, what's very important about this is, and very important to remember, is make sure you follow, because they're going to be at different times. There's a whole back catalog. So make sure you follow or subscribe, whatever the thing is there, so you don't miss an episode. Also, we kind of keep our episodes to a half hour, sometimes a little bit longer, but usually 20 minutes to a half hour, just because we want to basically keep it as a morning drive-in. I remember reading somewhere that the average drive time is half hour, so we want to keep it that way. Austin, do you think charge attractions are leaving the bigger parks and better for smaller parks? That's a good question there. So Austin's asking the charge one. So if you notice, a lot of the extra ones, especially in the Six Flags chain, Cedar Fair chain, because a lot of what's going on now is dealing with that chain, is they are kind of taking out the go-karts. They're taking out some of the extreme rides and stuff like that. I don't think they will, because they're a third party. They're usually not the actual park owning those. They're usually third party. So they're a vendor. It depends if they need the space too. I can understand them getting rid of the go-karts at Great Adventure because they kind of take up an area that's kind of a dead area because of the go-karts. Meanwhile, Six Flags America, what else are you going to do behind Wild One? It's kind of a good location there. So, smaller parks, fun spots, that's our bread and butter. you got to remember the fun spots started out as go-kart races and extreme things. And then they added the flat rides, the kiddie sections, and of course the roller coasters. So their foundation was the go-kart. So I don't see them leaving the fun spots and stuff. But I think a lot of it has to do with the space on that end. All right. So that's the podcast. All right. Let's talk about season passes. So I haven't bought anything yet. I went down at the list to see what's feasible. And I found out something that was actually very discouraging. And get rid of this one here. So very discouraging. So first one I always got to look at is Hershey Park. So last year was funny because last year they were pushing the giant pass. And they had, you have 1 month, we're only doing this many giant passes. And then we're cutting it, right? So they kind of built an urgency for the giant pass. So what is a giant pass? So the giant pass basically is everything you get at the king size, which is access to the park, free parking, discounts, and all that stuff. But the key was you got one front of the line pass every visit. All right. So, and for somebody who kind of comes and goes with the park, sometimes that would have been handy, especially, because I always want to ride Wildcats Revenge. Sometimes I'll jump on Storm Runner or stuff like that. That front of the line pass would be nice just to jump the line. But I kind of looked at it last year and I was like, they're kind of pushing it and there's only a limited number. No, I'm not going to bother. Now, it's now, February? You can still buy the giant pass. So one or two things happened. People just were not interested because the other thing that came with it was the lounge. You got the special lounge and you got a special backpack and stuff like that. The lounge was the old Ice Cream Turkey Hill building. So I never got in there because they wouldn't actually let you film it, which I thought was kind of weird because I'm like, if you're trying to sell this lounge, maybe you should hype the lounge. And somebody like me, where we get a lot of people, Hershey Park is our home park. We got a lot of content. A lot of people enjoy our Hershey Park content. Might have been a positive. No, I'm not Coaster Studios or In the Loop and stuff like that, but still, we're growing pretty steady. We're at 5,100 right now. So every month we get about 100, 200 new subscribers, 1.3 million views. So people are watching our content. Right before I went live, I just had somebody check out the Six Flags Hurricane Harbor at Great Adventure and say, oh my God, this is a great tour and all that stuff. Well, I filmed that a year ago. So, you're always getting people checking out this stuff and all that. So I was surprised they wanted to let me hype it up. Or it could be the opposite. It probably wasn't as impressive as they wanted it to be. Because I know when I went to Kings Dominion, I was able to walk in theirs. It was a really nice lounge. When you go to the retro bar at Six Flags Great Adventure, really nice private area. Air conditioning, you got nice chairs, you got a bar right in there. Really nice. I wasn't sure. I don't think Hershey was up to that standard at that point. So it was surprising to me that I saw the giant pass there. So looking at it, I'm kind of going back and forth. And I think I'm going to stay with the king size pass yet again. Even though there was days that fast pass would have been nice, I still don't think it's worth the bang for the buck for me, especially since I'm also going to be getting the meal plan. The Hershey Park meal plan, 2 meals, much better than the single meal because you got more options. And with that being said, I'm looking at getting the meal plan again. It came in really handy along with the king size pass. So that's going to be Hershey. The Cedar Fair / Six Flags was interesting to me because at one point I had the Plat Pass, which became the Gold Pass with the add-on. And then I have the Six Flags Diamond Elite VIP membership. So, of course, looking at those two, I'm coming in from the Six Flags side just because of the fact that you get a lot of perks with that. It's a great foundation. Very happy with everything you get with the membership. So I'm coming in from that direction. So coming in from that direction, the one concern I had was I never got a meal plan at Dorney Park because the meal plan was specific to Dorney Park. They really didn't have an all park option. So coming in from that direction, I always got the drink plan with Dorney because that did carry over. But I never got the cup. I always liked the paper cups. So because I always liked the paper cups, I was wondering, and I still don't know the answer right now. I still have to buy the pass, but they're making it sound like that my membership cup, Six Flags membership cup, should now work at Dorney Park, Kings Dominion, Kings Island, all those places, not just the Six Flags cups. And that makes sense to me because if you're coming in with the membership cup, with the sticker, membership, the whole 9 yards, it should work there. However, if it's just a generic cup like they did last year, they didn't have the red one. It may not be obvious. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out coming in from the Six Flags side. But it's a no-brainer for $105 add-on or $99 add-on. I don't know what I think it's like $99, but with tax it's $106. It's a no-brainer for me to get the all park add-on. It gets me to all my parks. All right. So that season pass is locked and loaded. A pass I don't use as often as I wish I could is the SeaWorld parks. So I do have a membership there, the Platinum membership, which means when I fly out to Florida, I can go to SeaWorld, I can go to Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens, technically, I guess Sesame Place is my main one, but I have those options, which is always nice. And I'm going to keep it. This year, I didn't get. I got the Busch Gardens at the end of the year, Williamsburg, and I got to Sesame Place. I didn't get to the Florida parks, but this year I will because I do have 2 locked-in weddings. So I will be going there. And Busch Gardens Williamsburg is just a park that it's funny because I'm looking outside and it's a pretty nice day. It's a little cold for me, but today would have been a good day to check out Mardi Gras. Might do that next weekend. Not sure. Kind of look at the weather. If it's in the 50s, I'm going to make the jump. If it's in the 40s, don't really feel like driving all that way. It is a 6-hour ride, but it is just, I wish that was my home park. I mean, no offense to Hershey, Dorney, Knoebels, but the SeaWorld parks with their food and their Mardi Gras and all that are just at a different level. So yet again, I'm going to grab that pass. So right now we got 3 that were locked in. So here's the one that confused me. So when Clementon Park opened up that first year, I think it was about 3 years. This is going to be, I guess, the 4th season coming in. I got the Clementon Park pass. And one of the perks that I believe, now I was told by, because I actually reached out to IB Parks to get clarification. Apparently my Clementon Park pass would get me into Indiana Beach, but last year it wasn't supposed to get me into Niagara, but it did, which was good because I went to Niagara twice. I went to Clementon Park once. But when I went there this time to, sign it up there, because it's only about $50, which is a great deal there for the park, especially with the other park things, because one of the parks I want to hit is Indiana Beach. And then, of course, check out Bahama Beach, not Bahama Beach, Bonsai Beach or something like that. It was Safari Sam's, but it's a new water park they bought there. So when I went there, I looked and I never saw, before they used to say good at all IB parks. So then I jumped over to Niagara one, looked, didn't see it. Called Niagara because it's always easier to get a hold of Niagara for some reason. And they said that it's not carrying over. So I was like, wait a second, let me double check this. I reached out to IB Parks, sent them an email, and it is correct. This year, each park pass is specific. Even at this point, Sierra Sam's, whatever it's going to be called, sorry, Baja Beach or whatever it's going to be. I apologize right now. I should know that, but I'm going a little, the old Sierra Sam's. That's going to be a separate pass. So you don't even have the Clementon Sierra, the water park merge there. So looking at it, it's hard to justify because I usually go to Clementon once a year. And I got to go to Niagara because they do have Serpent. And there's just something about Niagara. I just really love Niagara. But I don't think I'm going to get the passes this year. I might just do a day pass just because of the fact that I don't have that carryover. And now it's kind of putting Indiana Beach on an edge because of that. And I was really shocked because if you look, I'm going to be talking about another park pass that I usually don't get, but it might substitute in there. A lot of these chains are doing the passes. The only one I know that's doing what IB Parks is doing is Herschel. I don't think you can go get a Dollywood pass and it'd be good at Silver Dollar City or Kentucky Kingdom. I might be wrong. I will look it up. Please let me know in the comment sections if I am wrong on that. But the fact that IB Parks kind of had it and took it away, and they kind of had it last year, and I kind of got in. I didn't realize I shouldn't have, and I don't think the people at Niagara realized I shouldn't have. But when I go there, I spend money. I usually spend a couple, $20, $30 when I'm there. Anyway, I still wear the Niagara hat everywhere I go. So I was kind of shocked that they did that and got rid of that park pass. So with that, it might stop me from going to Indiana Beach. I may not go to Clementon. I have to see if Clementon has anything new to make it worth me going there to do the filming. And then, but I will definitely go to Niagara because Ari lives up there in Buffalo. It makes sense to go up there. So substituting that one out there, Palace Entertainment. So last year, Palace Entertainment had a PA pass, which was a pass that was good for Dutch Wonderland, which is down the road from me. I've never done any filming there. Kennywood, Sandcastle Water Park, which I've never been to, and Isle Wild, which I never filmed. I've been to Kennywood, never filmed. So these were 4 parks I never filmed. But because of Kylie's wedding in June and flying out to California, I kind of never got it. I was kind of like, okay, now it's July. Am I going to make this move and all that kind of stuff there? So what I actually decided to do is I'm going to add that in there. It's about $150. I'll do a couple of things later on and get it in April, May when the park started. But that's one that's going to come in there. And pretty much because Dutch Wonderland, yeah, it's not a park I go to often. Yeah, it's like another Sesame Place, go once a year, but we don't have any film on it. So it'd be a good thing to discuss and talk about there. So, looks like our Wi-Fi is a little bit off. So let me know in the comment section if there's any problems on our end there with you guys hearing us or repixelating or anything like that. It's kind of like mid-level there, which is weird, but I guess it is a Saturday, so we have less bandwidth than usual. But with that being said, those will be the season passes. So we're going with Palace for the first time. We're going with the combined membership with Six Flags, which kind of knocks out Cedar Fair. We're going to stay with Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, and we're going to stay, of course, with Hershey Park. So those are the season passes. So let's talk about the news. And hopefully you guys can hear me here because this is something that I definitely want to talk about. And I'm a little nervous about it. Six Flags America. So right now, in the last 2 weeks, every park has given their opening date. I know some people are saying, oh, no, Six Flags New England hasn't, or, Dorney Park. No, every park at this point has their opening date. When you go to Six Flags America's official Instagram, they have not posted since November. So right after the haunt. So you factor in that they haven't given them a date yet for opening, while every other park in the chain has that. There's no activity on Instagram. Now, I've heard through people that they see Intamin boxes were delivered, and there's activity there. Are they adding? Are they subtracting? They just did spend money on the Steamtown area, but was it successful? I don't know. I go during the week. I do remember 2 years ago going to Six Flags America on a Saturday and literally driving in and it being so crowded, I could not find any parking that I did 2 laps around and then I left. But to be honest with you, we have a comment here. Open Hellcat. Yeah, they definitely need open Hellcat at Clementon. Totally agree with that. If they open Hellcat, I will do a day pass at Clementon. And I also love their water park. So I'm not saying goodbye to Clementon, but I don't think I'm going to get a season pass at Clementon because they're not transferable. All right, let's get back to what we're talking about here. So people are saying that you can still buy single tickets on the Six Flags on their page for days. So they're saying that you can still go there and buy single tickets. All right. Also, I saw through the grapevine that there was a delivery to Six Flags America from Intamin. People are speculating it might be an updated train for Superman. Okay. The fact that you do not see an opening date yet and zero activity, even parks that you don't expect, every other day you're getting something from Clementon Park or Niagara. You're getting stuff from Great Adventure. You're getting stuff from New England, updates and all this stuff. And the fact that their Instagram has been completely dead since November, what are your thoughts? My gut is telling me, because let's be honest, when the Cedar Fair boys were talking, I guess it was November, their one quarterly, they were talking about assessing rides and their portfolio. And we've seen what they've done with rides. King of Ka's now gone. Zumomajaro's gone, Anaconda, the bobsled over in Texas. They're cleaning out Nighthawk and the drop tower over at Carowinds. They are cleaning things out of their portfolio, ride-wise. But we all know that Six Flags America, the land under the park, is probably more valuable than the actual amusement park. And the Cedar Fair boys are the ones who killed Geauga Lake. Say what you want to say. They're the ones that, yes, Six Flags made it big. They bought this, they did this. But the final nail in the coffin was Geauga Lake was Cedar Fair. So you've seen their track record. I don't think they're not nostalgia. The coasters community knew about Kingda Ka, but the general public did not know Kingda Ka was leaving. Nobody got a ride on Anaconda. Nobody got a last ride on Nighthawk. Nobody got a last ride on Green Lantern, with an official send-off. Is it possible that Six Flags America just might not open this year? So, hey, Joshua, thank you. You love our videos. We're still doing daily content. We're going to be finishing up the Six Flags America Making the Grade, which who knows, this might be the last time you see these coasters, right? But thank you so much, Joshua. Make sure you like and subscribe and, check us out on the social medias and stuff. But my gut's telling me, and I hate to be the first one to say this, but I am predicting that Six Flags America is not going to open this year. And God, I hope I'm wrong, because I went to that park last year and their water park is fantastic. The dry park, I noticed, it's funny because they built that section. They turned Coyote Creek, which was the western section, into Steamtown, and they did some theming there, and they did what they did with the SLC. But remember, that was Six Flags, that wasn't Cedar Fair. They're doing the same thing with Darren Lake. But the other thing you got to realize is when you go through the Mardi Gras section of this park, they never replaced the Larson Loop. I think it was Bourbon Street Fireball. They never replaced Zambezi Zinger, which is a flat ride. So there's 2 flat rides there. They blocked off the Whistle Stop area, and they took some of the rides and moved them over to the Looney Tune, but they literally just cut that section. You used to be able to go cut through the train section to go and get to Superman and all that. You now have the last ever Flying Dutchman, but is it? If they don't open the park, is that going to open, that? I went to Hershey Park with my high school senior trip last year. Hershey Park is fantastic. Let me finish with my thought here with Six Flags America, and then I'll jump on there with you, Joshua. Austin, it could be another California Great Adventure. Great America. Yep, I agree, Austin. It definitely could be but here's the thing. They're so about cutting costs. At least with Great America, California Great America, it's a year-round park. So they're still generating, it wasn't closed. So they keep it up, they keep it going, all that kind of stuff there. With Six Flags America, like I said, they just closed Anaconda. They just closed Nighthawk. They just, closed these rides. Is it worth it for them to get the staff, do all the cleanup, do all the maintenance, and get the park ready to go for the next season just to get ready to close it in a year or halfway through the season? Or is it easy for them just to say, we're done, what can we sell off? Or is there another company out there that would be willing to buy Six Flags America? The problem with the merger of Cedar Fair and Six Flags is you took number 1 and number 2 of regional parks. Yet again, I can't believe that the FCC or whoever's in charge let this happen. I think they don't understand the business. I think they looked and said, well, there's Disney, there's Merlin, there's Universal. So yeah, we can have these 2 merge. Not the same kind of business. Those are theme parks. These are amusement parks. And because they're amusement parks, you took number 1 and number 2, Six Flags Cedar Fair, jostled them together, merged them together. So now all you really got in the competition would be Palace. Would Palace jump in there? I don't know. Premier. I don't know if Premier is going to jump in there. Herschel, do they want to jump into that market? Will they try to convert that like they did with Kentucky Kingdom? Is with Busch Gardens Williamsburg and Sesame Place so close. Would SeaWorld get involved? Will they even have the money to get involved? So would there be another Gene Staples come out of nowhere and buy it, or will it just be liquidated? You really don't know. And I don't see anybody on the horizon there. So my gut, I'm making the announcement, and God, I hope I'm wrong with this, but my guts tell me that Six Flags America will not open this year. All right. I'm putting it out there. And if I'm wrong, I want everybody to go back here and beat me up in the comment section, because I am I want to be wrong so much. But the fact that there's no opening date, there's no activity on the Instagram. When you go to their calendar, it says no events. It literally, I looked at it before I came on here. It literally says no events. That's not encouraging. All right. So that's what I'm thinking of that in there too. And then coasters to say goodbye to. Do you think they're done with the closing of amusement of rides? Or, because if you look over Great Adventure, they're doing what they need to do. They're ripping the Band-Aid off. That's what they're doing. I can see that, happening with Great Adventure. Probably doing the same thing with King's Dominion, and they're doing the same thing with Carowinds. I do think it's ironic that they're purging Cedar Fair parks, not Six Flags parks, except for Great Adventure. But if you're looking at every park, they can definitely get rid of Mindbender over at Six Flags over Georgia. They can definitely get rid of Ninja over at Six Flags St. Louis or more. Maybe they look at Boss and they realize, okay, that's not worth the money there. Because the Cedar Fair guys are in charge, will they bring in an Intamin or a RMC? Because historically, they're not fans of them, even though some of their best attractions, Steel Vengeance, Millennium Force, these rides are Intamins and stuff like that. And RMC, they only have 2 RMCs. Most of the RMCs are on the Six Flags parks. And yet again, the Cedar Fair boys are in charge. So is there going to be more purges? And if so, what rides do you think? It looks like they're getting rid of older rides or high maintenance costs. I mean, who knows? Would Cedar Fair have gotten rid of El Toro if it didn't get repaired? Because with Six Flags, who knows? It's a lot of upkeep with El Toro. So I'm curious to see, do you guys think there's going to be more cuts or not? All right. Last but not least, what are we going to do in February? All right. So park-wise in February, yet again, I don't see me doing a trip down south in February, possibly March. On the business front, I got certain goals I got to hit before I can start planning trips. All right. So because of that, I think I need to stay local. So there's about 5 places I'm looking to hit. First of all would be Zoo America at Hershey Park. I haven't done a update on that in a while, so I wouldn't mind going there. And one thing I learned is the animals, even though it's cold, they're a lot more active now than they are in the summer. In the summer, they kind of just lay there unless you're the otters or the prairie dogs, and they just soak up the heat. So at least this time of year, it tends to be a little bit better on that end there too. Also, like I said, it's been a while since I filmed that. If I'm going to do Zoo America, I'll probably also do Chocolate World. See if I should update that. Second place is Nickelodeon Universe and American Dream. Now, this one I was going to go to in January, but they had the ride maintenance schedule. And let's be honest, at this point, it looks like Shellraiser is standing but not operating. It's been over a year since it's been operating, which is always a bummer, and it is a higher ticket price up there. But the one thing that in the middle of February I noticed is Sandy is supposed to be coming back off maintenance. I've never ridden Sandy, and if I'm trying to get the 500 this year, which is my goal, I'm going to need Sandy. So with that being said, if I can confirm Sandy's open and they get permission to film, I'll go there on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, film that, and film DreamWorks. Try to knock out those 2. So that's number 2. Number 3, a lot of people seem to like the Adventure Aquarium, which is the Camden, New Jersey Aquarium. So I've already done that. I've done everything I can really do there. However, Atlantic City just opened up their aquarium. So that might be a good way for me to go to Atlantic City and knock out 2. Knock out the Atlantic City Aquarium, and then also go back to Island Water Park. because we filmed there and their arcade last year. And to my surprise, when I launch out a video, I'll see the ones that really shoot up, that, go like are simply the best, number 100 to 51. That shot straight up. So I noticed that stuff. But the stuff we did for Island Water Park was a consistent upwards and actually 2,500 views, which is above average for what we do. So let's see what we got here. Nope, it's not done yet. What's not done yet, Austin? Give me a little bit more there. Are you thinking Six Flags America, or let me know on that end there? Speaking of coasters, I hope they fix Kumba. I know I won't be able to ride in February, but I want to see it going. I hope it gets floorless trains. Kumba, well, first of all, that's SeaWorld parks. And I think if they would have got rid of Kumba, they would have done it a couple years ago. With them getting rid of Scorpion, it kind of, I'll be curious what they're going to put in the Scorpion plot of land, because it's not a big area. And you just got rid of Sand Serpent, which was a mouse, but it was a mouse that's been around the block. It actually at one point was at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And they changed that with Phoenix Rising. So I don't see them getting rid of Kumba unless they're really going to put in like a Giga or something back there, because Kumba, first of all, is beloved. Second of all, they did some upgrades to it over the years, over the last couple seasons. And unless you're putting in something big back there, I don't think they're getting rid of that. Nope, it's not done yet. I'm curious to see what you meant by that, Austin. So definitely let me know there. But Island Water Park is another one I wouldn't mind going back to. I've been reaching out to them to see if I can find out what's new. The one thing I wanted to do there was to show the rooms, because it's not just a water park and an arcade, it's also a hotel. So with that being said, I was kind of curious to see what direction those would go there. So that's number 3. Number 4 would be go down to Busch Gardens Williamsburg and check out their Mardi Gras. It's a little bit colder than I like to go, but last year I did not get to Busch Gardens Williamsburg until later in the season. And this year it's weird because historically with my business, with the weddings, January, February, March are kind of dead. I have a wedding next week, but after that I don't have one until March. But I book a lot. And usually in April, it starts middle of April and it hits pretty hard until October, November. This year it's weird because I have that one at the end of March. Then I have 3 weeks off in April. Then I have one there, and then I have the first 2 weeks of May off. So I'll pick up some things left and right, but this gives me a lot of time to actually get to some parks before the water parks open for the season. So historically, Kings Dominion, I don't have anything on the water parks because every time I go, it's early in the season. So I want to kind of flip that. But that'll be a great time for me to hit Busch Gardens. That'll be a great time for me to head down south to hit, over Georgia and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot more spring traveling and banking things, getting a lot of content in spring. So when the June, July, August hits and I'm busier, the bigger trips are already gone. And then the 5th park that I'd like to hit there would actually be possibly iPlay America again, or to check out a couple other, what are these called? Family entertainment centers, FECs, and maybe do 1 or 2 of those with coasters, without coasters. So that's what my February schedule is looking like there. And then video-wise, so we talked about videos before for February. The goal is, and as soon as I'm done with this live, I'm diving right into finishing the Six Flags America, making the grade, and then going on from there. I'd like to get 2 produced videos a week, maybe a Tuesday and a Friday, or a Wednesday and a Saturday, just trying to get, and then fill the other dates up with shorts. But that's what the goal is going to be for the videos, is more produced, more scripted ones, because once the season starts, it's hard for me to sit down and then write the scripts. So in March, if I decide to go down south, or if I decide to go Texas or something like that, I'm going to be getting the Explorers, the Let's Eats, the shorts, the spotlights. All those are going to start coming into play, the challenge acceptance. So it's going to be less of the focus ons and making the grades. So this month, I really want to try to get 10 videos done, if not more. 10 to 12 is my goal. So that's what I'm focusing on there. So see if there's any other comments here. Hey, Austin, just double checking there. Nope, it's not done yet. I'm still curious what you meant by that. But with that being said, the last aspect is, boom, kill the videos here. So this week, making the grade at Six Flags America. I literally have the script done, the audio edited, and I'm probably about 5 minutes into a 12-minute video with graphics. So I should finish that today, upload it, and then launch it on Monday. And then from there, I want to do that new series that we talked about. And it's funny because I actually have it written down right here, which is the power rankings at the park. So with the Waldameer one, the first one, I'm going to mention coasters. But if I do this for Hershey Park, Dorney Park, parks that have more, have a lot of flat rides, it's going to be more flat ride based. It's going to be power rankings. And at Hershey Park, it's not going to be all coasters because we have making the grade for that. For this, it would be like Hurler or the Claw or the Drop Towers or Twizzlers Twisted Gravity. Those are going to be the top 10, the power rankings on those. So, and hopefully it seems like people are excited for that. If you have any other ideas, always open to new ideas, new concepts with different aspects. Like I said, we've started out with just the Explorers. They sprung into the Unplugged came from a person. Challenge Accepted came from watching some other people's videos. Then, of course, always curious of what I liked. Hey, you know what? What are the food options at Busch Gardens? And that expanded into the Let's Eat, Let's Play, and all those. So always looking for new video ideas. And once again, guys, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. This month we had, of course, because of the surge is what I call it, where we went from 33 to 45 in one night, subscribers and like 12,000 views. That was crazy. That was sick. And that was so welcome. Now, I found out later on, might have been a glitch or something. All of a sudden, things got sent out to India. But yet again, they liked it. They subscribed. And hopefully, if you're from India and you're watching this, welcome to the group. Every day we're doing polls. Every day we're doing something on the community page or the post page. So, vote for your favorite things. I think today we did something that was channel related. The other day we did, you have 1 hour to go to Hershey Park, which is the coaster you're going to jump on. We did another one where is what's the next park that's going to lose their next or get their new coaster. Was it Six Flags St. Louis? Was it Worlds of Fun? On that thing there. So, we're always going to have polls. We're always going to be keeping things active. We want to build this community because I couldn't do this without you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. So, guys, that is the end of the queue. 42 minutes. So this would have been a long podcast, but we're not going to put it on the podcast. We're going to send people here. But make sure if you are interested, we're going to have new episodes of the podcast every day in February. So it's 125 Roller Coaster, trimmed and stapled. And guys, I can't wait to see you guys in the queue in 2025.